we call it the yard. I see this car and I'm like, something ain't right about this car. So I look for a reason to pull it over. So this is going to be good. We're going to do a little quiz here. So I look for a reason. So I don't have anything on this car.
I'm end up moving to my dad's after that. He'll give me a job.
And then I noticed that the license plate light is out on the car.
Shit there, though.
So I conduct a stop on the car because the license plate light is out. Is that legal? Yeah. Goldie, is that legal?
I don't know. I'm be stuck in this house forever so they don't kill themselves.
Well, yeah, I would think that's
been like that my whole life.
Like
I would have had money and I would have been able to pay for myself if I haven't had to do that my whole life.
Why not? Yeah, why?
I've had to throw down opportunities to just make sure my mom doesn't overdose.
Ren versus U.S. There's a Supreme Court rule that this officer's subjective thought.
That's why I don't get no opportunities no more.
You can pull them over.
Well, what I thought you were trying to say is like initially when they had the seatbelt law in Florida. Yeah, like they could see you didn't have your seatbelt on, but there's no reason to pull you over other than that. That's not a good enough reason. If they're speeding, I can also give a ticket.
So, but what I was saying is that people were complaining that the police were looking for reasons to pull people over and pulling them over and finding drugs or whatever in the car, and saying that the officer was like, my subjective thoughts didn't have nothing to do with the fact that Ren versus U.S. is W-H-R-E-N, and everyone should know that law. And that's always a Supreme Court ruling.
Fuck, you'll move. Delta, fucking THC, you'll be fucking
going on the BLM and things like that. They were saying that police were using it.
Told you, it's the end of the world.
Which, how do you even do that? Like, how do you know what's the subject of being inside the officer's mind, right? I mean, you can't go inside of an officer's mind because that goes exactly it was speeding.
Well, it's 2026, Juli 2026.
And that really highlights a lot of things.
Who knows how the rest in 2026 will be.
So back to my story. So when the night before, I was turning lights on, don't run, I don't have the adrenaline, because I told you really anything to do. But I kind of grew up and I realized,
I didn't even like when y'all left that first time.
Stop the car. And later I get this extra search from the guy who was a complete guy with totally tweaked out. Give it Trump. Ricky says now. I feel so talk about that going on. And so I'm just saying that, because time to fix can search the car. If you're out of the car, you can search without a warrant. You can search the car if you have probable cause. Right. So I would do it on PC, but only to look for the things that the PC arises from. Right. Okay. So you search the car. You said, yeah, sure. He's all tweaked out. Okay. In the trunk are about 22 handguns.
To get 1 million,
he had just stolen from the gun shop at the convention center, and so I had this major bust because I had this JDLR thought inside of my head, and I was able to couple it with a Ren stop, and I got a consent, so I'm able to get these 22 guns off the street. And I'm not even sure if it was 22, but I'm just throwing that number out there. But it was a lot of guns. So to me, that was the real essence of graveyard patrol is about, like, preventing crime by having that JDLR thing that's inside you.
Well, we ain't making views because we ain't been tagging shit.
I saw these 3 guys walk into the same line. I know exactly where the 7-Eleven is. I can still see it in my head right now. They walked in. I parked my car. They didn't see me. I blacked out, and I called it out on the radio as a suspicious situation. Now, remember when I told you in the report how we got that discipline thing into cadence? When you're on a squad and you all know each other really well, I could tell by the sound of the voice, the tone and inflection of how my squad members would say things, whether I needed to roll to their car. They could just be pulling a normal car stop, and I could tell by the way they said, hold up the car stop, 1, 2, 3, Adam Baker David, be in the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard, whatever. I could tell whether I needed to roll to that, and I wouldn't even say it. Or sometimes I would say, control, whatever, I'll be en route. Right. So I see this, I call out the suspicious situation on my peeps. We go, and as soon as we get there, there's a guy messing in the convenience store right by because we got slot machines, and they were allowed to smoke back then. There's a guy messing around my ashtray. You know those ashtrays that have, you can have the time to when you search inside there, they had dumped a gun and they were going to rob the place. And it's just one of those things where the JDLR translates into good policing, and that's why I always love patrol. And I didn't only do patrol, but I got to a significant amount of time patrol, and I think that's one of the challenges in policing, which is another thing I want to touch on. One of the things that why policing is not as great as it can be is because the career track in policing is really interesting. What happens is you get people who are this accelerated.
Because all the streamers are on that right now.
I want to do this without learning what it takes to be a really good street cop. Because you cannot be in my opinion, a really fully developed leader unless you understand street policing. Because that's the backbone of policing. So you have these people who do a couple years in patrol, then they go to this unit. They do a couple years in that unit, they go to another unit. Then they promote, then they promote, then they promote, and they've only done 2 years in patrol. Those people, in my opinion, never turn out to be the best of the best of leaders that we have in policing. I did a significant amount of time in patrol, and all the patrol guys respect the guys who do a significant amount of time in patrol. But after that, I was able to go to, I was a recruiter for a while. Then I worked domestic violence for a while. Then I became a negotiator. I worked in community-oriented policing. I got promoted to sergeant. Did my time in patrol as a sergeant on graveyard. And then I retired out of community-oriented policing. So to do all these different things makes you well-rounded, but having a base in patrol is incredibly important.
So can I go back to,
Sure.
What if the guy had said no?
Okay, so it would be challenging for me to remember if I had PC to search his car or not. And I don't want to make up a story.
Yeah. But for some reason, you felt like...
If I had PC to search the car, I would have been able to. But there's other ways, around it. Like back then, so this is really...
He just gave you consent.
He gave me consent, so it's good. Consent you bought and paid for. But this is an interesting thing that you just talking about. So back then in Vegas, and I'm not sure if it's still the same, they had a charge called UICS, under the influence of controlled substance,
Okay.
which is a felony. But also driving under the influence, but what's interesting is driving under the influence of a drug was a misdemeanor, right? So the felony if you're walking down the street, but a misdemeanor if you're driving in the car. So a person who's a drug recognition expert, which I am, well, I guess my certification is no longer valid. You could do some tests on a person and you could develop enough probable cause to arrest a person for the charge of either driving or, being under the influence walking down the street. And I thought that was really a super challenging crime, but I can't remember, if I would have been able to develop PC to be able to search the trunk of the car, but he gave me consent, so he was one day.
So what if you walked up and he was like, "Hey man, what's going on? Would you pull me over?" And you could just smell the bud, and you were just whoa, and that gave you probable cause, and you searched the car and you found the weapons.
Okay, good.
Perfect. You're still perfectly okay because you're saying I'm searching. You're saying no, I'm searching for. I'm assuming there's got to be in this car, but you come across it. So it was what? It was a good faith search, right?
Yeah.
So like anything that's illegal that's there, I'm allowed to grab it. So it's not like you say, "Oh, I wasn't looking for that."
Yes. The Supreme Court already ruled on that. Right. Police can search vehicles without. So there was the Supreme Court case actually was from a long time ago, where the bootleggers. So the police were following a car that was too low to the ground, and the police knew that there had to probably be some kind of booze inside the vehicle, right. So they were able to search because there's exigency there, right? Because if you let the vehicle go, then they're going to get rid of whatever's inside of it. So the Supreme Court, in their infinite wisdom, says you got to be able to have an exception under this circumstance because the vehicle is mobile. So that's why the police are able to search your vehicle if they have probable cause, but only for that thing.
Right.
Like, you were involved in paper capers. I don't know if you guys used to say we call them paper capers, right? Paper capers. So, like, those financial type guys, we call them paper capers. We hated dealing with those because it's a ton of paperwork, right? So if I felt that there was PC for a paper caper, I could only look for the things that were related to that type of crime.
Did you get the Duracell batteries?
What's the matter? Batteries are all the same. All the
This one will
same.
never fall.
Incorrect. Our Duracell is built different. With power boost ingredients inside.
Used every day.
Power boost ingredients are a unique blend of nickel and lithium.
It's one of the harder
None of that
ones.
happened. Because you need all this to work on Christmas morning. Make up for last year, right, Dad? Excuse me.
Even if it has 1 to 20 views a day, it still adds up after a fucking year. Because that was posted in September.
Okay.
3 months ago.
Couldn't you just say, I smell this,
And it's
I'm searching
almost
for this?
3K.
Are you saying, could you make it up?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sure that someone could probably do that, but I mean, you'd be placing yourself into an incredibly precarious situation. In policing, we have this thing called the golden handcuffs.
It's one of the better
It's really
videos.
interesting because so many cops get in trouble for doing
There's
stupid crimes.
only
The golden
3K
handcuffs is
impressions.
the fact
and it's
that
at
you do something
2.5.
stupid enough to get fired, then you lose your
Total
job,
number of
and
times your
you're not going to be
thumbnail
able to
was
get that
shown to
golden
people since
pension. So you're handcuffed to either doing the right thing or staying in that career field. So a person, and I would tell my trainees, think really, really hard before you make the decision to do something stupid. Stay handcuffed to this goal here because you're going to get a nice paycheck at the end of the rainbow. So that's directly answer your question. Could I have done that?
69% of the viewership
A
came
good
from
attorney's
Google
gonna say, well,
searches.
Let's see what
For
your
that
inventory
video.
of their search. Was there any weed? When you did a piss test on him, did he have any in the system? So where's this, phantom weed
Okay,
coming from?
play both.
So that's the challenge,
Okay.
because a good attorney is going to be able to challenge those things and look into, you smell weed, but where did this weed come from?
Did you see the Star Chamber?
No.
With Michael Douglas.
No, it's-
I made Jeff watch it the other day. Michael Douglas is a judge, and he's a new judge, a couple of years old, and he's got some of his friends are older judges, right? And he's these two cops pull up to this van, and they walk over, and you can listen. The guys in the van are tweaked out of their mind.
Yeah, what's up?
I mean, the guy they had play this part was so amazing at it. I mean, he was iced out of his mind. Like, I don't know how, just sweat, everything. And the cops go, the cop, he knows something's wrong. He's looking in the back of the van. He's
JDR.
And he ends up saying that he smells, green. And they search the vehicle. They search the vehicle. They find the shoe and blood, and they know there was a
Yeah,
missing
I'm about
girl
to
that was
re-download it.
on the side of the highway like the night before. They arrest him. Goes in front of court. The lawyer comes in and says they had no right to search the van.
Yeah,
And they're-
well, so
and
they
he's-
can
they're
still
like-
search the van, it doesn't matter.
So when they go back and forth, it was.
As in, they're gonna do
You say in your report, you smelled bud, but the guy, there was no bud. The guy was not on, under the influence of bud. There was no dog. There was no, he goes through the whole thing. They're like, you just randomly said you smelled something. You want to search the van. And his partner got on the stand. They're like, did you? He was like, well,
earlier shit.
because now he in foresight, foresight, he knows my partner is full of shit.
Oh,
Like, and he's kind of like, he said, so he gets thrown out. And so Michael Douglas is completely disgusted with the fact that I just threw out a case where I know these guys were involved in the murder of this kid. And I had no choice but to throw it out, which, the movie goes off in different directions, and it's what he ends up joining. This is what I was always cool. He joins what they call, I want to say it was called the Star Chamber, where it's him and there's 7 other judges, and once a week or once a month, a judge will show up and open the file and say, Jonathan Brecken was found, or was, and then they read off the case and they say, I had to let the case go because of this reason. I'd throw it out because of this reason. Or on appeal, they dropped this. Somebody was deceased. The witness didn't show up. We believe this is a reason. He's got a long history. And then they vote on whether or not he's guilty or not. And so when they go around and if he's guilty, they go, okay. And they have a hitman that they somehow communicate with, and he just tracks the guy down and kills him.
You know,
It's a great movie.
it's interesting.
You have to see the movie, Star Chamber. We're going to put the link in the description box.
So this brings up something interesting I had planned on talking about. I hate cop movies and because they're
so good, though.
No, it's probably great. It's probably great. I listen, I believe you. But for
Michael Douglas, young Michael Douglas.
it's difficult for us because we look at things when we're watching cop things and like as simple as a person holding a fireman not indexing around the fireman, we're like, that's an actor. That's not a real cop. And it's difficult for us to suspend reality because for us everything is about being real and authenticity. And for me being a negotiator, you know, the way the dialogue goes, it's so much about authenticity. And I'm sure that's a phenomenal film. And that in law would be called the fruit of the poison tree, or the poisonous tree, because you get to throw out anything after a bad search, you get suppressed and thrown out. And so then you have no case. So I find it fascinating because I would enjoy that movie to that degree because I would like to look at the little, legal elements, and I like to share things like that because I think people should know some basic elements of the law. So yeah, young Michael Douglas. I mean, I think the young Michael Douglas movie that I liked was Fatal Attraction. That was a good one.
So these are definitely about, I think this is a little bit earlier than Fatal Attraction. No, it might, actually, this may be the exact, right on the exact same time.
Yeah, that was a really good film.
Yeah.
That was a good film.
Yeah, that was a great film, yeah. Did you ever see The Game?
I did not see that.
You didn't see The Game?
I didn't.
Did you see? Not already talking. Totally didn't see it. I bought The Game. I own The Game on YouTube. I have the movie. It was so good. Anyway, I can't even. I'm not. It's too long of an explanation, but it's a phenomenal movie, with the exception of the very end, which is slightly unbelievable, but the rest of it's super believable. I mean, to a degree. But yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. Cool.
The segues.
Let's continue talking about Michael Douglas. We just do an hour on Michael Douglas, and you can go home.
All right. But actually, it reminded me that there's something that segues into from the patrol element, which is the video I sent you.
Oh yeah.
Of the officer. So the horror. We didn't talk about this. That's perfect.
Michael Douglas' picture. They haven't involved in this. So what's the guy's name? He shot the director, or he had the weapon. I should picture him too.
Oh, Baldwin. Yeah, that movie is called Rust. Something Rust. Yeah.
How does that happen every once in a while? How the fuck does a live band get in every once in a while?
I don't know. I always got thought of
Bruce Lee's son.
Yeah, Bruce Lee's son. Yeah, Brandon Lee. Yeah. I would go if I was in a scene like that. I would have to check the file myself. Yeah.
It's not like it's never happened. Like it's never happened.
I've been on so many calls. I've been on horrific calls like that. I was on a call one time. So this is one of those crazy calls. I was working Northeast at the time, and it was a really eerie night. Eerie night. And this area is all trailer parks. And it's dark, and like some of the street lights cast a really weird light onto the street. And it was really super quiet, and this area is full of tweaker, the white stuff that tweakers use.
Yeah.
And it's people like running through different trailers, and so the call comes out. 911. Brother screaming into the phone that his brother was just shot as they drove past a convenience store. Now I know exactly where this convenience store is, but they're at their house. I'm the first unit to arrive. I get there and I see these two, find out they're brothers, wailing. Like the legit, see, like when you watch it in a movie, like very few actors can touch this degree of wailing. That's why it's hard for us to watch movies, right? These dudes are completely distraught. And wailing like, freaking out. My brother, they point to the car. I go over to the car, and I remember in the passenger seat, got this weird street lights casting onto this big, huge guy. He had this, you know how Gene Simmons hair is? That kind of like weird kind of like afro, like what kind of weird kind of curly hair. And it's kind of all forward and I can see that the back of his head is just matted with blood. And I checked for life, and his face looked like a mass because he was shot in the back of the head.
All right, Missouri, we're live. What are you waiting for? DraftKings Sportsbook, America's #1 rated sport. Bet 5 gets $300 in bonus bets today. New Missouri customers, bet 5 is for $300 in bonus bets. The crown is yours.
Auto-tune is way more than just pitch correction. Did you know that?
You can try all these tools free for 14 days with the Auto-Tune Unlimited subscription. And it's on sale right now for the Black Friday and Cyber Monday holiday special.
So I'm like, waiting for the audience to get there to calm everyone down and, kind of control the scene, and everyone else and their mother show up. So I end up talking to the brother, and I'm starting to get this eerie feeling from him because there's no light down through the window. Cut to the chase. I end up talking to the one brother, and he's behind his brother playing with the gun, and he shot his brother in the head with his brother. So in the time that they had driven from where the incident occurred to where they stopped, they had to formulate this story, and he had just killed his brother. So when you talk about how does this happen, when you're talking about Baldwin, that's not the only time. It happens so many times. There's something else that I want to share with you. Don't ever play with guns. Don't ever play with guns, because these things happen much more frequently than you can imagine. Another one that I went on, a AAA baseball team in Vegas, and I was new in the department. I was in Spanish, so the guys have me translate for this guy because he was a Dominican dude. He comes back partying with these girls to his apartment, showing off his gun. He keeps the girl. I don't like to point to myself.
Yeah.
But he goes through one side, out the other side, and I walk into the apartment, and she's like this. As I walk in, I think she was 18 or 19 years old. He was completely freaked out about his career. And I'm translating through this, and these are the things that you see when people play with firearms. Just don't ever do it. Don't show it off. It's supposed to be used for a specific purpose. And so, I guess that dovetails from your story about playing with guns.
Yeah. So the video of
The officer?
The officer.
Yeah, so I had that video because I had some questions that I wanted to ask you, because I really kind of want to learn from you as well. So I'd like to play that video, we'll watch it, and then I'll ask you some questions and get some feedback from you, and then we can talk about kind of like how that rolls into what's going on in police.
No, put it on the ground. Put it on the ground. Put it on the ground. Face. Get your fucking face on the ground.
Oh shit.
This should be that.
He's almost crying.
No, shoot me. Yeah, shoot me. I'll put it. I'll kill you, you stupid little bitch. I'll finish what your fucking roll. And you got
Okay, that's a female officer. Yeah, a little bit of background. I believe that's Arizona. Was told that a person wanted to take himself out, or was threatening people with it, and it's believed that it was one of those situations where a person got shot in the leg. Yeah. So tell me your thoughts on that. And also, this is a video that was going around in a lot of circles, and there were a lot of critiques on it. And I like to look at these videos and get people's impression of them, and then discuss from my perspective. So go ahead.
I mean, I thought she was extremely basic. If it were me,
I'd have started blowing that too.
If you're a producer who hates AI, this plugin might change your mind. This is Reimagine in Co-Producer. You can take any sample you find and flip it into infinite, one-of-a-kind variations that are unique to you. Here's how it works. Just open up your DAW and drop in the Co-Producer plugin from Output. It listens to your track and finds samples that match your vibe, key, and rhythm. Just search for a sample you're looking for, like dreamy synth. Now let's say you like this, but you want something a bit more unexpected. Just hit Reimagine and boom, it transforms Output's premium musician-made samples into endless, unique flips. Always original, always uniquely yours. And the best part is, unlike other AI sample tools, Reimagine gives you unlimited access, no credits, and no limits to hold you back. Uses ethically trained AI from Output's royalty-free sample library. And it works in any DAW, so you can drag and drop sounds right into your session. Find it original. Reimagine